Give me a minute and we'll talk about an update from the contested industrial zone in the southeastern part of Avdiivka that you see the red box around there. Now, before we do that, I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about Zaluzhny's comments that made so much press, right? Remember, I'm of the opinion that his language was misinterpreted, mistranslated, that he did not, in fact, use the word stalemate, but he used a word that in Ukrainian would be closer to deadlock. And a deadlock, a stalemate is a draw, right? A deadlock can be broken. And remember, in that article, he went on to describe the ways in which they could break it. And one of the things that he mentioned specifically, this is almost a verbatim quote from the translation. We can see everything the enemy is doing, and the enemy can see everything that we are doing. Without a technological breakthrough to change that, we are in this deadlock situation, okay? A technological advantage. Now, take a look with me at this area here. That's the industrial zone in southeastern Avdiivka that was widely touted as having, by the Russian mill bloggers, as a great success. That it had all come under control by the Russians, that the Russians were in charge there now, and that they were advancing into Avdiivka proper. They have changed their tune. They're no longer saying that they control it. They are now saying that it is in the gray zone. Their prospects have become far more pessimistic about it being a breakthrough into Avdiivka itself. And here is why, my friends. The other day, I reported that this so-called advance had in fact become a kill zone, that it was a trap, that the entire area was surrounded and could be attacked from three sides. And because the Russians had consciously, block by block, building by building, knocked down everything there, flattened everything, there was nowhere to hide. You come into this area, you're in the open. The Ukrainians can see you, they fire upon you. It's a graveyard now for tanks and ISVs, and of course for the troops. But why is it so effective? That has come to light now in the last 24 hours. The Ukrainian MOD and some Russian Telegram channels have shared some video and told us a few things about what's happening there. Remember what Zaluzhny said? We need a technological breakthrough. According to the Ukrainian MOD, they have in this area about a half a dozen physical electronic warfare jamming systems. They are blinding the Russians, blinding them. And to prove it, they've released video, drone video, not from Ukrainian drones, but rather from Russian drones. There's this video from the Ukrainian MOD that it says is from a Russian drone. And I guess there's some ways that you can tell. I'm not sure what they are, but people agree this is from a Russian drone. Now, do you notice that in this screenshot, it's starting to break up, right? That's because when the Russian drones fly into this area, these electronic warfare jamming stations take them out of the sky. The picture goes out, the Russians are blind, the drone is forced to the ground. And to back this up, the Ukrainians have released footage of their guys going out in the field and picking them up so that they can rearm them, reprogram them, and send them back to the Russians. I mean, it's only right? If your neighbor's drone comes over your fence, you should send it back to them. And that's precisely what's happening with these drones. This is an important situation. and it's an important point to make, that the technological breakthroughs make a difference. Just like Zaluzhny said, it's what they need to break the deadlock. And that's what we're seeing happening here. Now, they also got a little help from Mother Nature down there. Biggest storm of the century came through, right? And turned everything into a mess, an absolute mess. And there's more than one Russian Telegram channel that has published pictures of the roads there. They're mud pits is what they are. And remember, unless it's a highway in Ukraine, a lot of the times the roads just are not paved. They're not. In town, yeah, but the secondary roads, no, mud tracks. And the reality is that the tanks and heavy equipment can't run on them without sinking into the muck. And so now the only choice that the Russians have to advance there is on foot, infantry on foot. And they're sitting ducks. These two factors, the powerful electronic warfare superiority of the Ukrainians, plus the weather, have created the perfect conditions where if the Russians keep pouring troops in there, they're sending them on suicide missions. And this is reinforced by the claim that the local Ukrainian commander is making, that in just one day this past week, the Russians lost an estimated 514 men in this zone. So as I said about this area before, the fog of war is a real thing. Situations change. Should we believe that Avdiivka is now safe? No, we shouldn't believe that. Should we believe that fierce fighting is going on and the Ukrainians have a tactical advantage? I believe that that is the case. I'm convinced of it. And these are the reasons why. So that's the situation as I understand it currently down in Avdiivka, today being November 29th, the 634th day of Vladimir Putin's war of aggression against the people of Ukraine. I want to thank Eli, who sponsored this video. I've got some travel coming up for some humanitarian work, and I'm looking for sponsors. It's going to cost me about $20 a day in travel expenses. And Eli sponsored 2.5 days. So thanks, Eli. And if you'd like to, the PayPal is in. If you'd like to help me out with that, I would appreciate it. And the PayPal is in the bio. Thanks, guys.